Great morning, great morning, great morning. You guys come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We're going to get started. And while you guys are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and share. Come on, come on. Great morning, you guys. I'm trying to make sure that Hey, April. Girl, my house is full, girl. My kids are here. I know your kids are there, girl. We just family down. I love it. I love it. April, if you would go ahead and share to our groups, I would appreciate it. Thanksgiving this year has been absolutely amazing. Y'all come on in. I'm like an hour off my normal schedule, but I knew y'all didn't have to get up for work today. Well, most of you. Some of you may have, but I wanted to make sure that I got on and shared this word that the Lord gave me today because this word is powerful. I know, girl. I know. Yes. Oh, let me round those. I like the round ones. Yes, yes, yes. IG, I'm going to go ahead and share over here. All right. All right. Let me go ahead and send these messages out on Facebook and we're going to get started. Thank you, April. I appreciate you. All right. Hey, hey, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday. Listen, I am so excited. Please share this live. Y'all, this is going to bless those who get it. And for some of you, it's going to be an answer to a question, some concerns that you may have had, and it's going to help give you clarity. Okay. So, the other day, I put a post up and I said that it's all a setup. It's all a setup. Hey, Phoenicia. Good morning. I said it's all a setup. And so, literally, you've been going through things that were a setup. It was designed to set you up. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. It's been designed to be a setup. Now, listen, let me tell you the thing that I've learned about setups, right? A lot of times when we think about a setup, we think of it in a negative sense, right? But let's talk a little basketball. Let's talk a little basketball. I don't know everything about basketball. I'm not an expert, but I know this much that this analogy really is a prime example of the setup that God has been doing in our lives. So, um, Think about it like this. In basketball, when maybe they have gotten a rebound, maybe they have um, passed the ball in, maybe they've gotten a steal, they're going to the other end of the court, right? And people go to particular places, particular positions, right? The ball may be passed to one person while another person cuts to the inside, right? When that ball is passed to the person on the inside, or let's say it is thrown up, when they throw it up, it's a setup for an alley oop, right? It's a setup for an alley oop. They literally throw the ball up, the person gets it and dunks, okay? It is a setup for an alley oop. I know this. God is doing some amazing things to get us in the right position. And it may not have looked the way you thought it was going to look, and it may not have gone the way you thought it was going to go, but it is a divine setup for the alley oop, a design setup for the layup, the divine setup for the 3 point shot, right? It's a divine setup for you to score, right? I'm talking about everything that's happening, everything that's moving, every play that's made, everything that's going on, the things that are good and the things that are for us and to us are not so good are all a part of this divine setup. It's all a setup. So don't get caught up in what you see that may not be what you want, because it's simply a setup. It's not done. It's not the end. It is a setup. Everything and everyone is being positioned to where God needs them to be for you to score. Remember this, the ultimate thing is God is setting you up to score. Whether you score through a dunk, or whether you score through a layup, or whether you score through a 2 point shot, or whether you score through a 3 point shot, it's all a setup. And when God is setting us up, he knows that when we get the ball, we have the ability to score. We have the ability to score. Now, check this out. It's all a setup, right? For you to score. Now, our job right now is to prepare for what we expect. To prepare for what we expect. If you expect to get the ball and shoot a 3 pointer, you need to be in the right place. If you expect to get the ball tossed up for an alley oop, you need to be ready to jump. You've got to be in the right position, engaging in the right actions, right? You got to be in the right position, engaging in the right actions. Hey, Dr. Betts. Yes, April, a divine setup. Now, listen, sometimes in order for you to get the score that God wants you to have, you must seemingly lose something. Huh? You must look like you've lost something or like you're losing in order for God to move you where he needs you to be, in order God to position you where he needs you positioned. But know that it is all a setup. And what's going to happen if you look at everything with your spiritual eyes and not just your natural eyes, God will give you clear signs of where you're going. He'll give you some clear signs. Now it's up to you to do what's needed in order to get there. But he'll give you some clear signs that you need to apply for a job, clear signs that you need to move, clear signs that you need to end a relationship, clear signs that you need to begin a relationship, clear signs that you need to have a conversation, clear signs. He'll give you clear signs. Meanwhile, you're still stuck on something that happened that was simply a part of the divine setup. You're emotional about something that's happened that was a part of the divine setup. You're still crying over spilt milk that had to be spilled because he had a new gallon waiting for you. Listen to me. You crying because you spilled a quarter cup of milk when God has a new gallon that he's waiting to give you. Stop crying over what was and prepare for what is coming. Stop crying over what was and prepare for what is coming. Okay, so y'all may be saying, well, Dr. V, you said prepare for what we expect. Well, what if we don't know what to expect? You ought to know what to expect. If you're listening to God, He's telling you what to expect. He says that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. So what do you need to do? Expect it's going to work for your good. I don't care what it is. Expect that it's going to work for your good. I don't care what the event is. Expect it to work for your good. Expect that. Expect it to be a part of God's divine setup for what He's getting ready to do for you, right? Not only that, He says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans that are good and not evil, plans to give you a hope and a future and to bring you to an expected end. There's an expected end that God is taking you to. So, in the midst of what looks like loss, in the midst of what looks like lack, in the midst of what looks like disease, sickness, trouble, in the midst of all of that, it is simply a part of the divine setup. And it's all a setup. Everything that's going on is part of a setup for God to get us to our expected end. It's a part of His divine plan. I know you may look at things and you may say, oh, the devil is busy and the devil's doing this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's still all a part of God's divine setup. God said that He's going to take everything and cause it to work for our good. Every loss, every death, every challenge, every issue, every struggle, every broken relationship, every lost love, God is using it for a setup. Maybe there's something that you need to learn. Maybe there's a way that you need to grow for what's coming next. Maybe He's positioning you so that you meet someone who's going to be key to what's coming in the future. But it's all a divine setup. Great day, Christina. It's all a divine setup. Hey, Phoenicia. Hey, Brother Dale. Listen to this. So, we're trading. 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 And when we first got started, I had them set up a particular platform. I said, okay, y'all, we're going to set up on MetaTrader 5. We're going to set up on MetaTrader 5. So we set it up, right? So we set it up and I ended up, the brokers that I identified, they don't use MetaTrader 5. So, okay. So now, okay, we're picking some brokers. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to use these two brokers right here, right? So, we're practicing, we're getting things set up, but everyone who comes in has to set up. Did y'all hear what I said? Everyone who joins the session, everyone who joins the group has to go through the setup process. Why do they have to go through the setup process? If you don't go through the setup, you're not going to have the necessary indicators to give you the knowledge necessary for when to go in and when to get out. The setup is necessary. The setup is necessary. The setup is necessary for you to prepare for what you expect. Hey, Bella. Yes, girl, Rich Rising. You like that, Micah? Rich Rising. That's right, April. Everything. Every single thing. God knows that every single thing that happens, every single person that you encounter, every single thing is a part of His divine setup. Why? Because He knows the end from the beginning. He knows the end from the beginning. So before we were formed in our mother's womb, before we were a twinkle in our father's eye, before our mama and daddy ever met, ever saw each other, before the sperm ever entered the womb, listen, God already knows the end. Phoenicia said the setup is necessary. Absolutely. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you are looking back on some things and you suddenly realize why some things happened? That there were some things that God was doing through a situation that ended out in a way that seemed terrible, that seemed hurtful, but God was doing something even all the way through that situation? Huh? And check this out, not just for you, but for every single person involved. See, we get relationships twisted. See, we think relationships are supposed to be all good all the time, not realizing that the challenges that we encounter in relationships, the challenges that we go through, relationships that end, all of those things are a part of a divine setup that is necessary for us to be in position to score. It's all necessary. So you start to look back and you say, oh, now I get it. Now I understand why. Oh, I was to learn this in this situation. This was to prepare me for this. Oh, this was to keep me from being emotional when things happen. Okay. This is to keep me from thinking that everybody that started with me would end with me. Man, oh, this was to move this negative energy out of my life because it was not shifting. Okay. Oh, I had to go through this because I needed to understand that God is the provider and not my job and not this and not that. Oh, okay. Everything we've ever gone through in our life has purpose. Now, sometimes it takes us longer than others to see the purpose. Sometimes we can't see the purpose, but as we tell a story, somebody else sees the purpose of an event that happened in the past that they were present for or that we told them about. Regardless of what the situation is, everything is a part of the setup. So, my son and his girlfriend are here. Micah came the other day. But Micah went to the airport a day late. Got through security a day late. Got checked in a day late. Got on the plane a day late. Now she's made it through security. She checked her bag. She went through TSA. She got she checked in. Listen, a day late. Her flight was scheduled to leave the day before. So she's a day late. She gets all the way on the plane and they realize you're not supposed to be on this plane. How did she go through all of those checkpoints and still be able to get on the plane with somebody else's name on the ticket? What in the world? Now, y'all know if you were trying to do that, it wouldn't work. Okay. But this is what happened. So now she had to figure out what she was going to do, you know? And what they did was they said, okay, we can rebook you for free without a change of booking price tomorrow morning. The next morning, she gets to the airport on the right day, at the right time, early. Okay. She gets through TSA. She doesn't have to check her bag. Why? Her bag is already where she's going. Do y'all hear what I said? Her bag is already where she's going. Oh, we getting into it today. So she gets on the plane. She gets in her seat. She gets her seatbelt on. They leave about 30 minutes late. They get in the air. They get to Tallahassee because she's flying from Tampa to Tallahassee. The pilot said, I can't see. We're going back to Orlando. So they fly an hour the opposite direction. They were at Tallahassee. It looked like they were at the destination. Now all we got to do is land. And the pilot said, I can't see. They had to go back down and they ended up going to Orlando. So they go to Orlando. They're sitting on the runway. They don't know what's going on. They're like, what in the world? Like, the flight is already late. We left late. We were there. Why couldn't we just land? It was not yet time for them to land. So you got to accept what God allows because there's always a reason for it and there's always purpose, even if you don't know what that purpose is. So what do? They're sitting there, they take off again, and they're coming to Tallahassee, right? Now, by now, we're some hours late, right? Because it's a whole hour and 10 minutes or something for the flight to come from Orlando to Tallahassee after it had already been at Tallahassee, but did not land. So they get in, right? I get on the computer and I find a thing that tracks the plane and I know where they are. I know what time to expect them, right? I know what time to expect them. Okay, so I prepare for her expected arrival, right? But they got there early, but we were already in position to get her. So her getting there early did not negatively impact us because we had already prepared for what we expected. We go, we're going to pick her up. She's got to get her luggage, which is already there. There was a delay in getting the luggage, but it was already there. Now, listen, could have gotten upset, could have gotten frustrated with it. Listen, and between her and my husband, normally that would have been the case. They would have been aggravated, they would have been irritated, and somebody would have got a piece of their mind. They just would have. But instead, they were patient. See, sometimes you got to be patient for what you expect. You know it's coming, but you got to be patient because there may be some delays, there may be some holdups, but they always have purpose. Yes, Phoenicia, because the delays are a part of the setup. The delays are a part of the setup. So now here they are. They got the bag, put it in the car. My husband had an appointment at 1:00. We got back with enough time for him to do his appointment, enough time for us to go do what we needed to do, enough time for us to put the order in for the groceries for Thanksgiving, enough time for us to make the payment, enough time for us to rest before the groceries had to be picked up. Everything happened exactly the way it needed to happen, even though it didn't happen exactly the way we wanted it to. In the end, she got here. We got groceries. We cooked the food. Yesterday, we had an amazing spread. We were done and eating. The food was done by 12:00 and we were ready to eat. The food was done by 12:00 and we were ready to eat. And we had a full spread. We had grilled turkey. I've never had grilled turkey until yesterday, but baby, can I tell you, my baby did his thing with that turkey. That turkey was juicy. It's juicy today. Okay. So that's when it's good. Okay. All the juices were locked in. It's like, oh my God, the white meat wasn't dry. Michael, was the white meat dry? No dry meat. Okay. The skin was crispy and flavorful. It was flavor in the meat. All of this, right? Coming from all the challenges that we had encountered. We had our grilled turkey. We had oyster dressing. We had oyster dressing with onions and oyster dressing without onions. Listen, what we didn't have was dressing without oysters. So let me tell y'all something. I forgot. My husband doesn't eat oysters. I told him the oysters was for the dressing. He didn't say anything. Okay. So today, I'm fixing him some dressing without oysters. I know Thanksgiving is gone. I know that day is gone, but I'm fixing it not because I have to, not because he told me to, but because I want him to know that he is important to me. So I'm gonna make some more dressing. Is it gonna hurt me? No. Am I upset about it? No. It is my pleasure to do it because I love him. Now there was a time, let me be real with y'all, where I would have been like, oh well, you can pick the oysters out. But that's not the place that I'm in. But guess what? I had to go through the time where I would have said, oh well, with an attitude to get to the place where I would do it because I wanted to, just because I love him so much. See, what we do is we look at the things that are quote unquote negative. We look at the things that are challenging. We look at the things like that. And then we feel like, this is just horrible. And we think things can never change. Y'all, I'm a firsthand witness to the power of God to turn things around. And the funny thing about it is when he turns it around, he's going to start with you, not the other person. We're always quick to tell God to change the other person, make the other person this, make the other person that. No, he's going to make you. He's going to start with you. You're the key to your change. You're the key to what you desire. You. So now, last night, my son and his girlfriend got here. Now, he shared his location. So I'm looking because I'm expecting him, right? So I'm looking to see how far away they are. And I look and it looks like he's getting further away. And I'm like, well, hold on now. Wait a minute. What's going on? And I call him. I said, babe, where you at? Y'all on my 10? Where y'all at? Because the time increased. And he said, Ma, don't tell me that. So I look and I said, oh, okay. It just updated. It just updated. Okay, you're good. You're good. When they were 30 some minutes out, I'm expecting them. I'm looking. When they were 20 some minutes out, I'm expecting them. I'm looking. Now I know that there's a turn on the road that it's real quick and it's kind of hidden. So I know it's easy to miss it. So I make sure I call before he gets to that point so I can tell him, hey, look, this is what's coming. Okay, it's gonna be sharp. Da 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 da. Like, okay, I'm watching him on the GPS. Okay, it's right there. But a truck was on his tail, so he missed it. So he had to go down. I said, it's okay. It's okay. When you get to this next street, turn right. Okay. So he got to the street or what he thought was the street, and it was a little too early. So he had to turn around and come back out. But then he turned on the street and then he got to the house. And I told him, okay, you're almost here. I'm going to turn the outside light on so that you'll know where you are. And I went outside to greet them because I expected them and I was prepared for what I expected. I made sure the food was out so that they could eat because I knew they hadn't eaten Thanksgiving dinner. I made sure that I fixed their drinks for them. And when they got their food and they needed some cover, I covered them up. I prepared for what I expected. Now, check this out now. Check this out. Check this out. My husband made a table. He made a table that seats 10 people. He made the table really tall because his wife at the time was in a wheelchair and they couldn't find a table that would allow her chair to roll up under it. So he created what was needed, right? This table that seats 10 people. I have already seen the vision of all of our kids together for the holidays and us sitting at the table and the kids having a table and them being able to sit down and eat and family everywhere. I've already seen it. So if I've seen it, I've got to prepare for it. So when I look at the table and I see it full. Even though some relationships are damaged right now, even though some of the children are far away, even though you understand, you've got to prepare for what you expect. Get ready for it. Already be in position for it. Women, if you expected a husband, men, if you expecting a wife, make sure there's room for them in their closet. Make sure there's room for them in your closet. Make room for what you expect. And then watch God do what he does and line things up and move things around and position you. Y'all, I pray that you get this because some of you, there's some things you've been afraid to expect because you've been disappointed so many times in the past. There's some of you who are afraid to prepare because you prepared in the past and it didn't happen when you thought it would. There's some of you that have given up hope, that feel like it'll never happen for me. I came to tell you today that everything that you've gone through up to this point is a part of the divine setup. It's all a part of the setup to increase your testimony. It's a part of the testimony that God is building for you to reach a people just like you who've gone through what you've gone through. It's a part of the setup. I told you that my husband built the table because his previous wife was in a wheelchair, right? Um, Before I met him, I was having a conversation with one of my brothers. And I said, brother, because he's taking care of his wife. You guys may have seen him and his wife on social media, Terrence Hawthorne and Lucretia, Terrence and Lucretia. And I said, brother, I want a man who will love me even if I'm in a wheelchair. So God sent a man in my life who already had evidence that he could love a woman in a wheelchair. It's all a part of the setup. Stop being mad about things that didn't go the way you wanted. Stop feeling so hurt because relationships didn't last, or this business didn't work, or you went through this, and allowing your fear and your trauma to prevent you from going forward in confidence that God will fulfill his promises towards you. Stop being afraid of desiring wealth when God has told you that you're going to be wealthy. When he said that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. He said that he has riches that are stored up for you. When he says that literally, listen to me, that he has given you the ability to obtain wealth, that you might fulfill the covenant that he made with Abraham. We're part of the fulfillment of the covenant. Our wealth, and I'm not talking about just love and joy and good health, I'm talking about finances, money. Our wealth is a part of God's divine setup to prove and to fulfill the covenant that he made with Abraham. So get out of your poverty mentality and allow what God has promised you to come to you. But you've got to be in position, and you can't not move because you're afraid. I've been telling people since 2016 that trading is powerful. My husband watched me take 10 cents and turn it into dollars, right? Um, Listen, I've taken dollars and turns it into hundreds. You got to understand that sometimes God will position you around people who have the knowledge necessary to open up a skill set to introduce you to the vehicle that he's going to use to create your wealth. But you got to move. My baby said the setup is real. Yeah, you got to move. You can't just watch. You got to be willing to move when God says move. Look, I know this. I know that God has already established that not only am I going to be a millionaire, and not just a millionaire, he actually told me billionaire, but that I would make millionaires. That I would make millionaires. And I'm looking for those people who are ready to move to become a millionaire. However, God does it. I'm looking for those people who are ready to bet on them, knowing that everything has been a part of it. You're not on here by accident. You're not watching this by accident. It was a part of the setup. It was a part. I'm looking for those people who are ready to get out of their comfort zone and learn something new, ready to get out of their comfort zone and become the person that God created them to be, not who situations and trauma has caused them to be. I realized that the person that I was in my marriage in the beginning was not just who I was, it was who I had become as a result of traumas and disappointments and frustrations, which wasn't fair to my husband. It was incredibly selfish. But I had to go through everything I went through. And we had to go through everything we went through in order for us to get everything that God has for us. Because now I can tell people, listen, when you say duh, 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 listen, look, it's your trauma talking. And we've gotten so used to our trauma talking that we think that that's just who we are, and it's not. Allow God to do the work on you for you to become the person that you were created to be. I was looking at my vision board, and there's some things on my vision board as it relates to relationship. And I'm like, okay, God, this is the vision, right? This is the vision. But why we don't have this? Why we don't have this? Why this is not what's happening? But what God will do is allow challenges to cause you to grow. And that personal growth is key to unlocking all the other things that are on there. I had my grandchildren on there, and I had us with the grandchildren and us doing things with the grandchildren. I didn't know that was going to result in two of them coming and staying with us. I would have took them pictures down. Okay. No, wait a minute. But all of it is a part of the process. It's all a part of the setup. My daughter could have said, well, no, they're not going with you. But see, that too is a part of the setup. And I'm not even going to get into all the ways that this is going to set up. It's a divine setup, y'all. Yes, baby. We've been betting on others long enough. Let's start betting on ourselves. Look, if that's you and you're ready to bet on you, let's talk. I've got two things that I'm launching December the 2nd. The first is our $50 trading plan. We're going to start our $50 trading plan. If you want to learn how to trade Forex, we're going to trade Forex and we're going to trade gold. Those are my favorites. But Forex and gold, really, I love gold, right? Forex and gold. Also, you can trade indices. Once you learn how to trade, you can trade anything. Like there's no limits. Once you learn how to trade, you can trade anything. Okay. And you can win. It's so funny. I was talking to my husband and he said, okay, so what does this mean? And what does this mean? Now he said he's not going to trade, but he keeps being around when I'm talking about it and I'm asking questions and he's answering them. He's going to trade. It's a part of the setup. Okay. But I said, well, it doesn't matter which way. He said, which way does it need to go for you to make money? I said, it doesn't matter as long as you put your trade in going that direction. The value of it can go up or the value of it can go down. It doesn't matter. As long as you say, I believe it's going up or I believe it's going down, and that's what it does, you can make money. So he was like, oh, okay. So the first thing is that $50 trading plan. Start with $50. We're going to learn how to trade. And I've got some bonuses. There's some bonuses. There's some stuff that you can get that will help you in that process. But, we're doing that. So that's wealth, right? And December 2nd, we're starting a 90-day health challenge. A 90-day health challenge, it requires a 90-day commitment, right? It requires a 90-day commitment. Listen, we are going to get alive and see the benefits of this product, how it helps with mood, energy, clarity, focus, how it helps with inflammation, how it helps with your hormones and balancing your hormones and your blood sugar levels, all of that. When I tell you, the people who use Alive tell you, listen, I don't want to go without my Alive. Even the grandbabies, they don't want to go without their Alive. Their mama was like, that's not good for them to be wanting it like that. But there's something that happens to your body where your body feels something that it knows is, listen, this feels good. I want to feel like that. So we're starting that health challenge on December 2nd. Do you have to use the products? You don't have to. Like if you're wanting to lose some weight, you can join us. I lost 25 pounds in 12 weeks, right? I'm going for the next 25. I'm going for the next one. My baby talking about, you can wish that one on me, Ricky Bobby. I think he meant can't, but he's gonna trade. So that's what he's talking about. So if you want to be a part of the health challenge, whether it's dealing with your blood sugar level, your blood pressure, your energy level, your hormones, women, when you're going through the change, come on, those hormones get you. Whatever state you're in, and you want to take control of your health, it's not just about weight loss, it's about health, total body health. You can join that challenge. Put health and wealth in the comments or inbox me, and I will send you the link to those groups. I'm actually starting a brand new health group. I'm starting a brand new health group. We're starting over from scratch. So listen, y'all, this is new. This is new. We're doing something new. There'll be some meal plans in there, grocery lists to go to the meal plans. There'll be workouts. We're going to talk about your body type and working out for your body type and what needs to happen for your body type. We're going to talk about intermittent fasting and how to use intermittent fasting on your journey to assist you. Listen, whether you want to lose a little weight or whether you want to get your blood sugar levels more regulated, whatever that thing is that you're going for in your health, join us and let's figure it out together. Let's support one another. This whole journey is about us and us supporting us. We watched a movie yesterday, and it was about a young man, and it was based on a true story. But when he went to this private school, his mother said, well, the priest said, "What do you think the greatest lesson is that you're here to learn, that you can learn here?" And people said different things, excellence, science, whatever, whatever. And he said, brotherhood. Y'all listen, when you're building the kingdom, it's about brotherhood, sisterhood, unity, and learning how to support one another. It's time. It's time that we do what we need to do so that we can get where God has already prepared us to be. It's time to prepare for what you expect. You want a spouse? Get healthy. You want to change your situation? Increase your income. Not by just getting another job, by learning what wealthy people do and doing that. God has given us the ability to obtain wealth. He's given us that ability. But if we don't do it, it never happens. John said this. He said, Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. We're so spiritually fat, but so naturally weak. Feed on all this spiritual stuff, but we don't apply it. It's application season. I see you, Lisa. I got you, boo. I'm going to reach out to you. So if you want to join the health journey, the 90-day health challenge, put health or inbox me. If you want to join the wealth challenge, put wealth and inbox me in case I miss you, right? So that I can get you the link to the groups and you can be a part of the journey. I just want people to go on the journey with. I'm not an expert and I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I believe and I know this. What I know, and I'm willing to share it so that we can take the journey together and we can prove that together we can go further. There's an African proverb that says that if you want to go quick, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So, all right, y'all. Listen, I pray this word has blessed you all. If you guys want to sow a seed, you can sow a seed. Hold on, let me put it up here. Let me put up here. You can sow that seed at Cash App $ DRV Johnson. Cash App $ DRV Johnson. What I know is this is God is doing an amazing work. And I am preparing for what I expect. And I expect everything that He has promised me. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.